While football fans on the mainland were preparing for a bowl battle worthy of the hype, surfing fans on the north shore of Oahu were blown away by a confrontation they didn't expect and a comeback they'll never forget at the Volcom Pipe Pro.
And there are more showdowns in store as the Winter Dew Tour reaches its finale at the upcoming Toyota Championships at Snowbasin in Utah. Our own Todd Richards is on hand to give us a preview of what could be the ultimate face-off in Superpipe between Yuri Podlachikov and Louie Vito.
And the biggest question mark in that equation is defending Dew Tour Superpipe champion Louie Vito himself. Everyone's been wondering what's really going on in his head. You know what we did? We asked him, and he gave us some surprising answers.
It's all happening right now. You're Inside Alli Sports.
John Florence, defending champion. He needs a perfect 10.
Horizon.
There's the paddle battle, and it's
John
Florence looking for a 10.
On his backhand right here. He's coming out. John Florence.
Goodness.
So I always set goals for myself. It's all right to be upset if you didn't win or place, but worry about what you're doing and just listen to good music.
This is Inside Alli Sports. I'm Pat Parnell.
And I'm Angela Sun. The Volcom Pipe Pro started out with powerful 12-foot waves, forcing a gut check for even the most experienced pipe specialists, and ended with a spectacular final heat. Like a thriller with twists, turns, and last-second surprises, fans walked away knowing they'd seen one of the most exciting finals in surf history.
Absolutely. It was like a North Shore novella. And like any good story, you had an intense cast of characters. Outspoken Hawaiian Jamie O'Brien, two-time Pipe Pro champion, never shows up to Pipeline to come in second. Defending champ John Florence, 19 years old, his body already beaten up by pipe earlier in the week. Kai Barger, former ASP World Junior champ, part of Hawaii's next generation of young surfers, and San Clemente local Nate Yeomans. And the moment O'Brien scored a 9.0 and an 8.3 in the first 5 minutes, everyone on the beach knew they were in for the ride of their life.
Oh yeah.
Look at this. Here's our final.
Nice left, shaping up for one of our surfers. Jamie O'Brien's in red, Kai Barger in white, John Florence in yellow, and Nate Yeomans.
And right out the back right now, up and riding, looks like red.
Jamie O'Brien. That's how you start a heat.
He wants to win this event again. Here we go, surfing red. O'Brien again.
Wait, now how did he get this thing?
Okay, Jamie O'Brien's putting his foot down right now.
They've spotted Jamie O'Brien, 17.33 points in the first 6 minutes.
Everybody knows right now with JOB sitting on those two amazing scores, they are going to have to pull a rabbit out of their hat and get something big.
Kai Barger now.
Perfect position right there, drops in late, comes up, comes out. Kai Barger. All right,
Deadly.
well, hey, you know, the party isn't started anywhere yet because it's anyone's game out there. Kai Barger just dropped a bomb. The Lions have entered the Coliseum and it is on.
Jamie O'Brien kicking for the bomb, looking for a 10.
Wow, this is going to be a good wave right here if we can come out of this one.
Come out.
Oh,
Of course he comes out.
way out the back, way out the back.
Kai Barger.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my. Okay, we're looking at extremely high scores right here, back to back. Kai Barger has just made the beach go absolutely insane.
John Florence, defending champion, is comboed by 18.48. What does that mean? He needs a perfect 10 and an 8.48 to take the win.
Okay, let's see what we got. Keep your eyes on the horizon.
There's the paddle battle, and it's
Got a
John
battle.
Florence looking for a 10.
On his backhand right here, he's coming out. John Florence.
Goodness, see?
I said it.
Nice
if you
magic
got,
once
a 10
again.
up your sleeve, pull it out now.
Watch out, look at this. Jamie O'Brien going to answer back.
Oh my goodness.
J.O.B.
Oh.
You rarely will see John claim a wave, but that thing deserved a big one, and it's a perfect 10 across the board, ladies and gentlemen. John is back in the mix.
John Florence now needs 9.40 to overtake O'Brien.
This is coming down to the wire.
Well, I mean, John with that 10, that just puts him in third place. That's the craziest part about it. His second score is a 6.33, so, you know, Barger's still got a shot at this.
We've got, what, 35 seconds? About?
33.
33, and we have got...
Oh.
And we have
There
got...
goes, he's making a break right
We
now.
have got lines out the back, ladies and gentlemen.
John
Hold on to your
Florence
seats.
going for
Hold
a
on
Hail
to your
Mary.
seats.
He's got a backdoor barrel. Look at this. John is going to go backdoor pipe. He's going back.
pipeline.
Did that just happen?
The miracle
Shared
buzzer
off the beach
beater.
to 9.93. John Florence takes it out in the end.
Goodness.
That was the closest finish I've ever seen.
That was crazy. That was unbelievable.
It hurts. It's just, you know, and you think you're gonna win and usually don't. You know, I got some really good scores and I put on a great performance, I felt. To me, that means everything, and I had a great time.
You know, I wrote myself off halfway through, and yeah, I can't even believe it. And especially here at Pipe, anything can happen.
This year's 2012 season has started out with a bang. My take on this year's Volcom Pro is top 10 contests of all time. The first 2 days were an 8 to 12 foot surf, second reef. All the kids from all around the world, from Australia to Florida to Puerto Rico, all had their chance to shine.
He's doing pretty good after that one. Here we go, red, Dylan Brave, pulling in, deep, driving, still going, and he's gonna come out.
The amount of 10s that went down in this contest has to be a record. John Florence's performance this year was nothing short of ridiculous.
He's going back door. Look for the 10. Underneath the left.
Winning in fashion that all of us dream about. With seconds to go, last minute heroics, the kid is unbeatable at Pipeline. You know, for me to say that this could go down as one of the greatest heats at Pipe is you know, it's still yet to be seen, but I know for a fact that the only one that I can think that comes close is the Andy Irons last minute heroics about 6 years ago against Kelly and Rob and Corey Lopez. And that's what exact feeling I had the other day when John got underneath Jamie in the last second, needed a 9.5, ended up getting a 9.9. And I mean, it's what surfing's supposed to be.
Don't poke a sleeping giant into you. John Florence she's starting to wake up out there.
For such a mellow cat, the kid just doesn't like to lose. He has that quality that Kelly has where he's really mellow around you in the day, but then when you're in the water against him, there's no way he's not gonna try to beat you. And that's, I think, his best trait is the fact that he goes out, looks like he doesn't even care, and he surfs it like he's free surfing, but then at the very end, he's looking at you like, well, at least you got second. You know, there's nothing to be ashamed about getting second. And that's what John does too. He puts you in a place where you're in second. It's John's world, and we're just all just partying.
It was a week of unexpected twists in sports, and it continued with the Burton Canadian Open in Calgary. Hot off her 13th consecutive win at Winter X Games, Kelly Clark was the overwhelming favorite for the victory in women's superpipe.
Kelly finished second in the semifinals, driving hard for win number 14, but she abruptly pulled out of the competition after a fall during a practice run, slamming the brakes on her record win streak.
With a wide open field, the remaining women stepped it up big. American Ellery Hollingsworth came in third with a 76.68, behind fellow American Gretchen Bleiler, who scored a 81.28. But it was Coral Castellet from Spain who seized the opportunity of Clark's absence to set a benchmark of her own, becoming the second woman in history to land a 1080 in women's halfpipe competition and earn the win. And for the men's halfpipe results of the Burton Canadian Open, in first place, Ryo Aono of Japan takes it with a 90.13. Two Finnish riders, Marcus Malin and Janne Korpi, round out the top three. Let's move on to the Winter Dew Tour as it comes to its 2012 conclusion with the Toyota Championships at Snowbasin in Utah.
And this final tour stop is literally being supercharged by a handful of athletes with something to prove. You've got a men's superpipe showdown with iPod, who's on a short list of names who could possibly challenge the dominance of Shaun White. He's going up against defending Dew Tour champ Louie Vito. And Kelly Clark is determined to defend her Dew Cup title after faltering at the Burton Canadian Open.
Todd Richards lays down a preview of the final Dew Tour stop at Snowbasin.
All right, so it all comes down to this, the Dew Tour wrap-up. This is it. This is the Dew Cup. It's going to be given away at Snowbasin in Utah. For the men's pipe, well, the battle is basically between iPod and Louie Vito. iPod has a win and a third. Louie Vito has a second and a second. So it's going to come down to the third and final event. Now, Shaun White won the first stop there in Breckenridge, but he's out. He's not even competing. He's not even in the running for this. So Louie Vito, he's had a long season so far. He's had a couple of disappointing finishes, not finishing in typical Louie fashion. We remember back last year, the 2010-2011 series, Louie Vito won every single stop. He was on a roll with winning contest after contest. This year, a little bit different story. The judges are a little kind of sick of his run at this point. Plus, Louie's been fatigued. He's got that disappointment coming off of the X Games. He's got the disappointment coming off of Killington and then also off of Breckenridge. Is that going to affect him? In my personal opinion, Louie is fired up and he's going to come out swinging. He has a new trick in the bag. He lives in Utah. He's sleeping at his own house, so I look for him to throw down at Snowbasin. On the women's side of things, well, Kelly Clark, she took a pretty heavy hit there at the Burton Canadian Open. Therefore, it left the door open for Queralt Castellet of Spain to come in, stomp the second ever frontside 1080 done by a woman in competition. So Queralt Castellet has a frontside 1080, Kelly Clark has a frontside 1080. It's gonna come down to Kelly Clark. Is she gonna be okay to compete there? Now, Kelly's pretty much has this thing wrapped up, so time will tell. Will Kelly actually be able to drop into the pipe? That's gonna be the big question. So the first stop was slopestyle in Breckenridge. It was Yerman Broughton winning. At the second stop, it was Eric Ouellette. Who's it gonna be at the third stop? Who's gonna go home with the Duke Cup? I'm looking at Eric Ouellette. He's got some momentum coming out of the X Games. He got a third place in Big Air. Maybe he's gonna carry that momentum in. But also Sage Kotzenberg, he is actually from Utah. He's got that second place, the silver from the X Games, coming with that momentum. So who knows how it's gonna turn out.
Right now, taking a look at the current standings going into the third and final stop of this year's Winter Dew Tour. In men's snowboard superpipe, the battle continues between Yuri Polachikov and Louie Vito. And as mentioned earlier, Louie Vito perhaps going to unload that brand new trick. That could decide the difference. Finally, taking a look at men's snowboard slope style, leading the charge, Canadian Sebastian Toutant with 180 points, followed by Yerman Broughton in second. But rounding out the top three, Todd Richards made mention of him earlier, Eric Ouellette. He has the rotational capabilities to take it all. And in women's snowboard superpipe, Kelly Clark, her eyes on the prize, that being an overall Duke Cup. It will be her third if she gets it. She's closely followed by Gretchen Bleiler and Zhutong Kai of China in third.
If you build it, they will come. The monster snowboard course created by Travis Rice called Supernatural, and the final results coming up.
And discover once and for all what random thoughts, passions, and reservations are racing inside the head of Louie Vito when he answers all of our questions. Stick around.
Welcome back to Inside Alli Sports. Near the Baldface Lodge in the mountains of British Columbia, Canada, pro snowboarder and X Games gold medalist Travis Rice brought together 18 of the world's top backcountry snowboarders and turned them loose on one of the most ambitious courses ever conceived.
Yes, for sure. Built across 2,200 vertical feet on a slope nicknamed Scary Cherry, Travis and his hand-picked competitors took on over 80 man-made features built last summer. Now, most riders hit at least 5 features before heading into the super kickers, where fresh powder landings allowed riders to showcase their park progression in a natural setting. In other words, when pro snowboarders go to sleep and dream about perfect, pristine powder run, this was it.
I think this is really a good push for the pureness of snowboarding, all the way from its roots to where it's at now.
First time I saw the course was just like mind-boggling.
Rebel Supernatural is a dynamic event that showcases really what snowboarding is about. 18 of the world's best come, throw down one perfect day, perfect course, and some futuristic features.
Everyone here is definitely the most stoked they've been all year.
Yeah, doggy!
10. Essentially, I think the last 30 plus years of snowboarding has inevitably led to this place.
Red Bull Supernatural, I think, is going to go down as something that was definitely a game changer in snowboarding.
And in first place, there can only be one champ, and the champ today is Travis Rice.
And the final results, Supernatural's visionary mastermind Travis Rice accepted the first Supernatural win with 91 points. Austrian Gigi Ruff took second with 84, and Nicholas Mueller from Switzerland finished his Supernatural run in third with a score of 82.60. And the victory for best trick went to American John Jackson for his backside double cork off the super kicker.
Red Bull's Supernatural airs March 31st on NBC. While Travis and his boys were out in the woods going supernatural, the rest of the top snowboarders were on the other side of the world in Innsbruck, Austria for the Billabong Air and Style competition.
Nicholas Mattsson from Sweden earned a third-place finish for his frontside double cork 1080. In second was Belgian Seppe Smits, nailing his cab 1260 mute grab. But it was Finnish rider Pitu Koroinen throwing a backside 1260 mute grab to secure the win.
Up next, it's another close battle at the latest stop on the AMA Supercross Tour in Anaheim.
Then we head to Brazil for a preview of the first surfing prime event for 2012, the ASP Prime Hang Loose Pro.
And we hit Louie Vito with some hard questions about what it takes to get that win when we come back. Welcome back. Here's the breakdown of the latest in sports with Inside News.
The latest stop for the AMA Supercross came to Anaheim, California, where a sold-out crowd at Angel Stadium gathered. In the qualifying heat, James Bubba Stewart blasted into the lead and was completely alone until lap 4. But he became his own worst enemy in the rhythm section and went down hard.
Stewart takes a very hard hit.
Forced to race again in the last chance qualifying heat, Bubba came back strong and decisively made the final, which quickly turned into the Ryan Villopoto show.
Yeah, it did. Villopoto took the lead on the first lap and never looked back, leaving Bubba Stewart, Chad Reed, and Ryan Dungey battling it out for second and third.
Ryan Villopoto, now the first rider of the 2012 series to win 2 races, is in the lead in the overall standings, followed by Reed, Dungey, and Stewart in 4th.
Bubba's unpredictable races so far this year have kept things interesting, and he gave us his take on his performance in Anaheim.
You know, didn't get the greatest of start, made some passes and stuff, and then, you know, made my way up to 3rd, and then ended up getting around Chad, you know, about 6-7 laps into the race, and, you know, just trying to salvage. You know, I felt like, you know, maybe could have went a little faster, but, you know, I just felt like it was a good night, especially after the crash in the heat race. So, appreciate it. You know, the fans out there, it was definitely a tough one of the toughest ones of the year, and, you know, we only get better. So, thank you guys.
The first prime surfing event of 2012 rolled into Brazil this week to Cachimba do Padre Beach on the islands of Fernando de Noronha.
Wow, tuta boom. Very nice. The Hang Loose Pro is a prime event open to the top 96 ASP surfers. Things got underway beneath sunny skies and a 4 to 6 foot swell, but the conditions didn't help many of the surfers who found themselves dropping out after round 1. Brazil's own Felipe Toledo, Hawaii's Freddie P., Americans Nat Young and Tanner Gudauskas. Hawaiian Kai Barger, despite his performance a week earlier at the Volcom Pipe Pro, didn't move on after coming in 3rd in his heat. Notables who were moving on to the second round are World Tour Brazilians Miguel Pupo and Gabriel Medina.
Pat, it looks like for February and March, the surf season is kicking into high gear. Running simultaneously with the Hang Loose Pro is a 4-star event, the Break of Early Pro in Australia, followed by the 6-star Australian Open, and the first World Tour event, the Quicksilver Pro.
Are you like me, numb from the endless evolution we've witnessed in men's snowboarding superpipe the past few decades? I mean, it's a good kind of numb, but it's a lot to take in. So before we look forward at the frightening implications of what it's going to take to win in the future, let's go back, like way back, 1995 back, with a rider who was actually there, believe it or not, Todd Richards.
Well, back in 1995, there wasn't a lot going on. Maybe a couple frontside 720s. The walls weren't perfect. They weren't very big. Maybe someone was doing a backside 540, maybe a McTwist. That was about it. Then the inverted flips started to come into play. Then the frontside 1080 came in. Then the frontside 1260 came in.
A perfect 100.
Hands down the best run that we've ever seen in history.
It's just been growing every single year more and more. So I guess the big question is, how did we get to this point in the sport? I kind of think it's a test to the fact that the pipes are so perfect, specified width, specified length, it's perfect every single time they ride it. When I was coming up, you had to adapt to where the wall was pitching you out, what tricks you put where. A lot of the times it was you trying to conquer whatever half pipe was built for you. Nowadays, the tricks are incredibly hard, but as far as having a perfect playing surface to use, I think these guys, they've got it easy. Where's it gonna go from here? Will we see triple corks? I don't know. You know, I don't think so. I don't think there's enough time to get around, but who knows? Pipes might go to 33 feet deep, and it'll be a whole new ball of wax.
With the final winter Dew Tour stop and bragging rights on the line, the pressure couldn't be higher for the athletes in men's snowboard super pipe. And the question that just won't go away, is Louie Vito ready to take on Yuri Polachikov and everybody else who wants his title?
It's a really good question, Pat.
Thanks.
Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah. Listen, positive over negative, because I do believe in positivity. Positive over negative.
For me, I think there's more mental fatigue than physical fatigue. My physical shape right now is pretty good, so I feel good after contests. Like, I'm not tired or anything like that. But you know, doing contests and having your adrenaline and everything going up and down, that, you know, puts a toll on you. So I'd say more mental fatigue. For me to get in the right headspace before a contest, I don't know, I think I just want to have some decent practices, at least do most of the tricks that I want to do in the contest, and then I just listen to good music, or at least music that I think is good, because it kind of puts me in the zone and blocks out everything else. My formula for contests is pretty basic, actually. You know, you just make sure you realize that you can only control what you do. You can't control your score, you can't control what other riders do. So set a goal for yourself. So I always set goals for myself. It's all right to be upset if you didn't win or place and you thought you should have, but worry about what you're doing. I definitely visualize my run, you know, at least get an idea, and then just kind of have fun, you know. I don't pay attention to like who put down hammers before me, if the crowd's really loud, how they're reacting. You know, I just kind of look at the pipe, so it's a tunnel vision, take a deep breath and go do my thing. It's gonna be pretty hard. I mean, last year the pipe here was really good and the riding was really good. And I know there's some big names coming to the final stop. So for me, I just want to go out and land a run. You know, I have a run that I want to do. If I land it, I'm stoked. And like I said, that's the only thing I can control. So hopefully it's good enough to land on top. But if not, back to the drawing boards.
Thank you guys for checking us out again on Inside Alli Sports, your base camp for action sports. You can keep up with the latest by following us on Twitter @AlliSports or tweet us at #InsideAlliSports.
Yep, that's a good thing to do. And you also want to be sure to subscribe to Alli Sports Network and check out all the shows on the Alli Sports channel here on YouTube. This is Pat Parnell.
And I'm Angela Sun for Inside Alli Sports.